You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
The fit is somewhat important. The girth is more important to me than the length, but more important than
How about
that.
the curvature?
Curvature doesn't really. Who knows? You can always.
I've been complimented on my curvature.
I'm so thrilled. Again, too much information.
It's uncomfortable to talk about sex, but sometimes it's important to get uncomfortable. Sex Talk with My Mom is the best mom-son podcast about sex.
It's the only one as well.
My mother is a cougar.
My son is a clown.
In a nutshell, my dad died, so my mother decided to create a YouTube channel all about sex, like all mothers do.
And then my son decides to use my material in his stand-up comedy routines.
And thus, Sex Talk with My Mom was born. Welcome to Sex Talk with My Mom.
Whoa.
I'm Cam Potter.
And I'm Karen Lee Potter. Wall, that was a welcome.
You think it was bold and empowered?
Yes, it was. What do you guys think?
Was that a bold and empowered welcome?
That was a bold and empowered welcome, yes.
We'd like to welcome you to the show.
You little sneaky fucking freaks.
If this is your first time joining us, you're in for a wild ride. At this point, we're 5 years into the podcast talking about sex weekly with my mother. I would say sex comes up for about 5% of the entire show. So if that's going to spoil your expectations, maybe it's time to turn it off or just rename the show
Talk with my mom. No.
Weird Talk with My Mom.
You will hear sex. You will hear talk about modern day media.
You're going to hear talks that most parents don't have with their children. And why is that, Mother?
Because unfortunately, people put up boundaries. And they feel like that there's a lot of shame involved if they tell their parents what they're really thinking.
Speaking of shame.
What?
I would like to discuss a thing that has been on my mind recently.
Have you been shamed?
No. Okay,
Oh.
So here's what I was thinking about recently.
What?
Penis shame.
It's terrible.
What do you mean it's terrible?
Guys, you shouldn't do this to yourself. No one has... All penises are wonderful. There's advantages to every penis. If it's too big, there's you can say that a lot of people desire that, and you can work with it. If it's too small, you could say, well, I can do stuff with my fingers, and the little one will feel a lot more comfortable. The little one will feel, you can do fingers and use your micro penis if you have one, and you could still make the woman have a good time. See, we are talking about sex.
Okay, so let me tell you where this is coming from.
Do you have penis shame?
Let me get into it, okay, Mother?
All right.
So I've been studying up on my podcasts. I love to listen to the Pleasure Podcasts. That's the network that I founded. It's a group of 10 of the best sex podcasts out there.
A little shout out to Pleasure Podcasts.
You should go and listen. If you like sex podcasts, you should go and listen.
If you are a sneaky freak, you should go and listen.
To pleasurepodcasts.com. That's where you're going to hear them all. But anyway, I was listening to one on shameless sex. Wonderful podcast that we've done an interview on their show. They've come on our show. And this one was just had a guest on that was discussing masculinity and penis shame. The masculinity part I didn't necessarily agree with. The penis shame one I agreed with.
What?
So basically this guy was positing that every man at some point in his life, some more often than others, experienced penis shame.
That's what I'm talking about.
But here's what I didn't think. I didn't realize how pervasive it actually is.
It's pervasive.
It is amazing how many questions we've gotten on the show and how it's come up for me on the show. You know what has come up for me?
What?
When we were doing the Clone Willy episode.
When we did Clone Willy, you were like, you were really, really nervous about this.
Okay, so you got to listen. Okay, so
you got to listen to this, you sneaky freak.
Okay, this is probably one of our favorite episodes. We were it's
a do-it-yourself penis molding kit.
We were sponsored by Clone Willy, one of our favorite sponsors. They gave us a product to try out where I make a silicone replica of my penis.
And I made a silicone replica of my pussy.
Yes. Luckily, you didn't show me the mooch. You didn't show me
I
the
did not
pussy.
have any need to show it to you
but
or
for some
anybody
reason,
else.
we thought it would be a good idea for me to flash this vibrator that I made
No, because
of my
you,
penis.
you kept saying to your brother who was with you when you were making it, what do you think? Is this big enough? And you were very nervous about the fact that it wasn't big enough.
Yes.
And it was and mostly because you were like, you're trying to do a whole do-it-yourself kit. It's a stressful experience if you're a first-time maker.
So mine came out smaller than expected because I was making it alongside my brother, which was an awkward experience, making it a little challenging to be hard. But with all those caveats, it's not that different than my penis. Maybe an inch different.
Well, an inch is a lot.
Who knows what it is? But either way, it was It was a very seeing your reaction, saying it's adorable. It created a lot of.
I just said that because I was uncomfortable.
I know you were uncomfortable.
Wait, are you shaming me right now?
I'm not shaming you.
Okay.
I'm not shaming you, but I'm being honest that created a lot of anxiety for me.
It is my fault that now you have anxious thoughts about your penis size?
You don't need to get defensive about it. I'm just saying that it created anxiety in me.
Because I said the word adorable?
Well, that wasn't the response that
What do you want me to say?
Don't know what
That's
my
a
mother's...
real big dick. It's a horse dick. What
Here's
am I
the
supposed
truth.
to say?
The truth is, I probably do have an adorable penis. I think it is. It's very average. It's like the rest of my body. It's very average. It's medium. If I were going to make a clothes for it, I'd say medium.
Okay. What is a mother supposed to say when your son shows a mold of his penis? He's clearly saying that it wasn't as big as it normally is anyway. What am I supposed to say? Oh, well, I'm so impressed with this. I mean, I just didn't want to say anything about it. I didn't even know why you needed to show me.
I was humiliated with the way it came out in general.
I'm sorry that you went through this experience.
But anyway, this is all to say, I've worked with it, with the penis shame.
What have you done?
Well, I've just thought a lot about it. And you know what I realized? Here's a helpful thought that I've had recently. I'd say like 5 out of the 6 people I've dated recently or in the past have identified as queer or have hooked up with women in the past. They've been very satisfied in those relationships. And I think to myself, they don't have a penis at all.
Right, that's my point.
So it's not about the genitals.
Not at all about the genitals.
It's a fucking mind game. Sex is a mind game, 90% mental. You might as well enjoy it for that sake. You are feeling desire, desiring the other person, knowing the other person knows you desire them. Is a whole fucking back and forth mirroring of saying you exist in the world and I appreciate that.
First of all, that is 100% accurate.
Thank
Second
you.
of all, I have talked about this for years, that it's first of all, the fit is also important. Sometimes you can have someone with a very tiny vagina. They don't want even an average size. They want a smaller dick. I mean, the fit is somewhat important. The girth is more important to me than the length. But more important than
How about the curvature?
Curvature doesn't really, who knows? You can always.
I've been complimented on my curvature.
I'm so thrilled. Again, too much information. But my point is, I have been with guys with really small dick, but they made up for it in other ways, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? They know. Let me tell you something. The clit is a mini penis.
Yeah,
And
you always say
if
this.
if you get that clit to be engorged, and I wanted to bring that up actually in Mom's News. I'm going to hold that thought. Just remember about the clit being a mini penis.
Oh, I'll talk about we'll talk about engorged
Engorged,
clits
but
and
the
penises
most
in the
important
Mom's
thing
News section of this show.
is that the act of penetration is only, I would say, not even 10% of the whole sexual experience. If you're good at massage, if you're good at going down on someone, if you're good at finger play, ass play, all this other stuff, I mean, I had a very good orgasm the other night, and it didn't even involve penetration. So you can have so many different experiences without that big ass dick.
I've seen people have orgasms at music festivals just by a head massage.
Okay, that's very rare. It'd be like
Nipple-gasms, they're a thing.
Yeah, I understand, but those are few and far between. I don't want people to have expectations that they're going to have an orgasm through getting their toe sucked either, even though I did watch my friend get her toe sucked in a club, which I talked about on the show repeatedly, and she had an orgasm.
It's very nice. I would like to hear from you,
Yes.
our lovely listener.
I thought you were talking about me.
I'm talking to our lovely listener.
Okay.
Will you please let us know your thoughts on how penis size and shame has affected your life or sex life? Text us at 310-356-3920.
So proud of you.
Because that's also in the show description notes. I think that it's not talked about enough. I think we say like, oh yeah, that, I think it is so pervasive and yet not talked about enough.
I have interviewed so many people on my YouTube channel, Karen Lee Potter.
But you don't hear a guy. You don't hear
I
the
have
guys
interviewed four guys.
Talking about the shame that they've carried their whole life.
Yes, and not only that, but they don't even they explain in explicit detail what they did not want to hear. They don't want to hear that your dick is nice. They don't want to hear that your dick is, like you said, adorable or pretty. They want to hear that dick is manly. That dick is a rod, a steel rod of fire. They want to hear compliments like you're like the perfect size or the perfect manhood. I don't know. They just like to hear.
They want to hear that they're a man.
Yeah, they associate manhood and their dick size, and you shouldn't.
It is pretty interesting. I think it's not a should or should. It's a deep-seated unconscious belief that I think might be just an inherent natural belief, not even given to us by society, but often propagated by society.
Well, I'll tell you who propagates it. Porn.
Porn's definitely propagating it.
Yeah, because porn, I mean, again, I've talked to so many different porn stars about this. First of all, people look at porn and that there's editing going on, there's angles going on, as my friend Nina Hartley says, porno dicks are humongous because it's for the entertainment. So they're not going to have like an average size 5 to 6 inches on there. They want, because that's what guys like to mostly, because most of the guys are the ones who are consuming porn. They want to see big dicks.
Yeah.
But I've seen, the other day I was watching porn. I couldn't believe this.
What happened?
It said woman getting gangbanged or something like that. And it turned out, I looked carefully, the woman was actually a guy with a small penis and had 2 balls. So it was a guy.
Sounds like a mistagging.
Mistagging?
Unless the person identifies as a woman.
Yeah, it could be.
Who knows? You know what I've been thinking about listening to all these podcasts?
What?
Masculinity. You want to talk about that, or is that boring for you?
Boring. We're on to much more important subject.
All right, what's going on in your life, Mother?
Yeah.
I might come back to masculinity later in this episode.
You can come back to masculinity.
I like to get into the real stuff over here. You like to keep it light.
Keep it real.
Light and refreshing for all of our sneaky freaks.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about something this week sneaky freaks would like to know about.
We're lucky to have you on the show, by the way. If this were my podcast alone, you would sneaky freak, you would be inundated with Buddhist bullshit. You would be hearing about the fact that social media is destroying our lives. Yeah. This would be an extremely depressing, boring, heavy, dark podcast that you wouldn't want to be listening to while folding laundry or
You're not that boring.
I'm not boring.
So then why are you saying that?
Because I would create a very boring, dark podcast.
Because we have to. It's like a little bit of a roller coaster ride, right? Sneaky freaks.
Yeah, you bring them up, I bring them down.
No, you bring them. You get a little deep, and then we get a little light. I'm going light. I'm going to tell you that something is definitely not right with me. Something's not right in the head.
Okay.
All right. Let's just start out with. A lot of things that happened. Just as of recently, I drove around in circles in my own parking garage trying to park your car because I didn't know where I was. I was going around in circles, and this is scary to me because I've lived here for
the building.
I live in the building. I've lived here for 2 years.
And you can't figure out how to get to your own parking spot.
Yes.
That is disturbing.
It's terrifying. Then, to make matters worse... I did phone banking, which I've done 3 times already for Joe Biden.
I did it with
Joe
you.
Biden.
I've done it with you.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, I was in the tutorial for first of all, I couldn't even get into the tutorial. It was on Zoom. And
I had to send you the link.
You had to send the link. Your sister sent me the link, and I had the link, and I still couldn't find the link. I finally got in the link. And I had to sit through an hour tutorial because I couldn't get out of the Zoom link to get onto the phones because I was too nervous that once I got on the phones, I was not going to know what to say.
What do you think this is about, Mother?
It's stressful. I'm constantly stressed.
What is preventing you from being able to use the technology?
I think that I have an extraordinarily big part of my brain is creativity.
Oh, I was going to say weed.
No, it's not weed. Although that might have been a tribute to why I had a good orgasm the other day. No, it's not weed because I don't smoke that much weed. I did smoke a little bit of weed back in my heyday of college.
And Quaaludes.
Quaaludes.
I think that
weed,
took up a lot of your brain.
some of the mushrooms, other shit that I consumed. All right. But anyway, I digress to say that at this point in my life, I'm spinning around in circles. Okay. Also, there's things that are on my mind. Like, we had a week of craziness that you're just like talking about penis size, and I'm talking about what? We saw a debate that I was like, what did I see here? You know? And so I decided to take political matters into my own hands.
I was sitting there with, you saw me, I was sitting there with the hands over my eyes like I was watching a scary movie with just my fingers my eye covering the eyes.
It was it was traumatic for me to watch it. I had to go get a glass of wine, which I guzzled.
Here's what I will say though. Grade A entertainment.
It was.
I was feeling more emotions watching that debate
than
I have watched, I think, on TV in a long time.
You don't watch TV.
Because I can't feel things as strongly. Actually, the truth is I feel things too strongly. I can't.
Yeah.
I have to be very regulated.
This is reality TV at its finest.
It is unbelievable.
You were just waiting. I was just waiting for him to say you're fired.
You want to know what I would have loved to have seen?
Biden saying you're fired to Trump.
I would have just loved him to say, hey, dude, can we just talk and have a debate? I know, but he didn't do it well.
He didn't do it well.
He didn't level with it. He couldn't really connect with the Donald.
How can anybody connect with the Donald?
I would have spent the entire time trying to connect with the Donald to calm him down.
Yeah, I know you would have
until he agreed, and then we could have started. But I wouldn't have continued the debate at all until we got to that point.
You probably could have been a good moderator and calmed everybody down. I, on the other hand, would wait for the perfect opportunity and say, Donald, I've been waiting for 4 years to say this to you. You're fired. Get the fuck off the stage.
Well, luckily, we don't need to go there.
So I decided to go on my TikTok and spout off
Jesus.
And what ended up happening on TikTok is I don't know why, maybe because the way I tagged it or something, all these Trump lovers started coming on to my
that is your constituency.
Trump lovers.
Yeah, and Filipino people.
The Filipino people I love. There is no one as kind and wonderful and respectful of my age and what I'm trying to do there, which is dance to the Filipino songs.
Okay, to you, our lucky, lovely listener, my mother.
Just so you know, I'm not Filipino. I'm Jewish.
She's white as snow, and she is making these.
White as snow. I don't have that light of a complexion.
I'm just saying you're not Filipino.
Okay.
But
I found a niche.
She found a niche for sure. She's now doing only Filipino dance music.
Okay, that's the latest. No, I did one recently to A Change Will Do Us Good.
Okay.
Sheryl Crow, thinking that everybody would say, yeah, we want Biden. And no, it was all the Trumpsters saying we need a change. I don't understand what do they need a change for? They had 4 years to prove a change, and we don't have a change.
We got no change. We were calling Wisconsin, telling them to vote, trying to get the Biden people out to vote. I found more Trumpers in Wisconsin than
it's frightening.
It was a sad thing.
All right, so back to what I'm doing.
This has become such a fucking partisan show.
Okay.
All I wanted was to make people laugh, awaken them a little bit.
You were going to make people laugh when you called them up on the phone banking?
No, the show.
Oh, our show?
And now all we do.
Oh, no.
This is worse than getting dark. This is getting like
political. Okay.
Political.
Well,
which is
I was
worse.
telling you that I was trying to do I was trying to do some Filipino TikTok dancing, which people love me, even though I look absolutely insane when
How
I'm trying
could
to.
they not love you, Mother?
They
You're
did not,
dancing to Filipino songs looking like a fucking
idiot.
Goober.
Idiot. I look like an idiot, and they're still telling me, thank you for trying, and you're doing such a great job, and we love that you love our culture, and it feels so good, and they respect me as an elder.
Yeah.
Now, I put the different TikTok on obviously my constituency is different. We know they're Trumpsters, and one guy writes, and all he had was one video up, and it was him on a dirt bike, driving on a dirt bike. So I put a video up saying, he puts a video up saying, he puts a comment up on my channel saying, old as dirt. Okay. Fuck you, old as dirt. I went back right at him and said, excuse me, Are you talking about your dirt road that you're driving on? Are you just having like a dirty old mind? I mean, I don't know what I said to him. I was just like on a rampage about it. Fuck him.
Why do you bother getting involved?
I don't think they should allow it to write on my wall if nasty comments.
Why do you even read them?
Especially about age, which everyone's going to be at a certain age. This guy probably was about 16. I have to teach these kids.
Oy.
Well, anyway, that's what's been happening in my life. A lot of people are asking, like, how do we spice up our sex life? Let me tell you what a little prelude to sex could be.
Meditation?
Yes. It
I love that.
It makes you relaxed.
We are delighted to tell you that we are sponsored by Calm, the app designed to let you relax. Get that sleep you want.
I love this app. I use this app daily.
Yesterday, someone told me that they just broke up with their girlfriend. They were devastated. They were having heart palpitations. What did I lead them to? Calm. Calm.com/sex talk. That is where you can get the Calm app. What is it for, Mom?
It calms me down, and it also provides me with a good meditation practice.
That's exactly right. If you want to learn to meditate, or even if you're an experienced meditator, it will give you the guided meditations that will help you out.
And for me, I have sleep issues. I turn that app on before I go to sleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I turn it on again.
They have Sleep Stories by Harry Styles.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. And Matthew McConaughey, too, by the way.
I freaking love it. 85 million people around the world use Calm and love it. So, my friends, if you want a limited time offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription, which includes hundreds of hours of programming, check out calm.com/sex talk. You're getting this special 40% off their premium subscription. Just make sure to go to calm.com/sex talk. Not calm.com/mom. That supports another podcaster. We get no credit for it. You'll be doing us a disservice. Go to calm.com/sex talk and you'll get 40% off. And you'll be sleeping or meditating your little heart's
content.
One of the most stressful items that I buy is deodorant.
And why is that?
You don't know how it's going to smell when you put it under your pits. You're about to go on a date. You put that shit on and you realize you stink worse than if you just left your BO sit.
Oh, I hate that when this artificial smell of like pine needles or something. It sounds terrible.
That is why I choose to use native deodorant.
The other day I used native deodorant, and I got to tell you something. I could not believe how good it smelled. I was like, what smells so good? Because I don't even wear perfume anymore. And it was my pits.
It smells so freaking good.
It was the coconut vanilla. It was so delicious.
It makes you hungry almost.
You know, native has ingredients you've heard of like coconut oil, shea butter, and tapioca starch. And it's vegan and never tested on animals. You got to love that part.
I can't stand when they're testing the deodorant on animals. They're trying to make the pig smell better. You know what else native doesn't do? They don't use aluminum, parabens, or talc in their deodorant.
Right. When you're going through the grocery aisle, are you looking at the ingredients to see what's in there? No.
And we should.
And you should, because this is directly near your breasts.
Your titties.
Yeah.
Do what we did. Switch to native today by going to nativedeo.com/mom or use promo code mom. Honestly, I don't care. Either way, you're getting 20% off your first order. That's nativedeo.com/mom or use promo code mom. What happens, Mom?
You're going to get 20% off your first order. That's a deal.
I was, what?
You're not going back to what?
What?
Where are you going back?
What were you thinking I was going to go back
You're going to go back to some philosophical shit that you've come up with.
I just am curious.
What?
Okay. Because you bring it up. You bring up the fact that these are young kids that need to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about masculinity, as you know.
Here we go with the masculinity.
I'm just wondering, who is there a good masculine mentor, a man that young men should try to be more like? Who?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, right.
I actually did a video about how narcissists are bad in bed.
Okay, you lovely listener. How am I supposed to say you? When I'm saying you from now on, it's referring to you.
No,
you
listener.
Sneaky
Sneaky freak. Then they know it's them.
All right, you sneaky freak. Please let me know who should be my role model. Because all the men out there, I was listening to an interview with Jeff Goldblum yesterday.
He by the way, is a little perv.
He's very perv.
He came over. I don't want to tell a story, but he went to someone's university and was hitting on like the university students, and he was in his like 70s or something.
He's right now. Listen, he's 67. He's dating he's married to a 37-year-old woman.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised. He was hitting on the 18-year-olds.
Okay, but so what is a healthy masculinity?
George fucking Clooney.
Why do you say George Clooney?
Because he's funny. He's sexy. He's married to someone who he really respects because she's a high-powered international attorney.
I'm talking about someone who you can really hear the inner thoughts of. You don't
How
know what the
about
fuck's going on
Russell
in his...
Brand?
You think he's the definition of masculinity?
I like that, yeah.
Really?
Oh, you know who really
he's
is?
someone that we should ascribe.
Matthew McConaughey. Oh, yeah. He
You
calmed
think he
calmed me down when this whole pandemic first started by saying just stay inside and wait for further instructions, basically.
So here's where I'm getting at. So a lot of these more new age these hippie men who have this idea of what masculinity masculinity should be. Russell Brand doesn't get to it too much, although he might. But a lot of times I hear people on these podcasts talking about how there's the masculinity and femininity in all of us. Okay?
Yeah.
And they're kind of saying, we've made a lot of progress, and you're bored?
No, but the whole episode is going to be about masculinity and femininity.
And you don't like that?
I'm fine with it, but let's make it faster. Let's move along.
They're basically saying the men should be masculine, the women should be feminine.
Who's saying that?
These neo-masculine guys.
Okay, that's nonsense. There's femininity and masculine in everyone.
And then
it's a continuum.
And so the goal then is just to become your truest self. It doesn't need, you could be a very feminine man, you could be a very masculine woman, regardless of what it is. Just how do you get in touch with yourself? So then I'm drawn back to the Buddha as the fucking, as a quintessential man.
So the Buddha is your leader. He's masculine and he's feminine?
Some of the Buddhist teachers, I think that's my answer.
Do you want to fuck a Buddha?
Unfortunately, they're not very sensual people. In a way, they are sensual. They're very in the moment, feeling their body.
A lot of sex also can be very like rough and tumbling.
Yeah. And that's not very Buddhist.
No. So it is a conflict. And you have to read, its book on that.
The best I got from
Esther Perel's book.
The best I got on the Buddha's thoughts on sexuality is he talks about wise sexuality for the lay people. Basically, use your sexuality wisely. Don't hurt people with it. Don't use it to manipulate.
Yeah, that's how you are.
I try.
All right, so you're doing a good job with it.
I still don't feel like I have a healthy role model that really embodies his sexuality and himself. Maybe Russell Brand. I don't know. All right, Sneaky Freak, if you have an idea, please hit us up.
Tell us
310-356
3920.
You got it.
Oh, I wasn't
sure. You don't need to doubt yourself.
Okay, I had some doubts. Speaking of...
We could stop talking about it now.
Speaking of masculinity, let's talk about Ben Shapiro.
Oh.
I just found...
Why?
Because I just found out about this. Mom's news. It's time for Mom's News. That's when I come up with the strangest and weirdest and craziest sex stories or sex news that you've ever want to hear from.
Hell yeah.
And I found one here that I think is interesting. Just in my general perusing the internet, I perused and found Ben Shapiro. Now, I don't know anything about him.
I know him. I listen to his podcast sometimes just to find out what conservatives have to say about what's going on in the world.
Oh.
Note, I don't necessarily agree with any of what he says, but it is interesting. Smart dude. He's the poster child for right-wing conservative thinking.
So, in other words, he's a Trumpster.
Big-time Trumper.
Okay. Well, he also, like his leader, has some faulty information about women.
Hmm?
He says, as I also discussed on the show. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about Cardi B's WAP.
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 Whatever. Wet ass pussy.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Wet ass pussy song. I loved it. I love the video. I fucking love this song. I had to pull up the lyrics. Just some of them. I mean, I can't read some of this, but I'll just read. Extra large, extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Wipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top. I want to ride. I do the Kegel while inside. Spit in my mouth. Look in my eyes. The pussy is wet. Come take a dive. It's not romantic, Cam.
No, it sounds like Dr. Seuss a little bit.
But it's also like, it's kind of like rough and dominant, and I love that. Okay? Actually, you can get wet listening to the song. The pussy is wet. Come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised. Let's role play. I wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck.
I want you to park that Big Mac truck
right in this little garage. Make it cream. Make me scream.
Okay.
The point is,
I don't need to hear my
healthy.
mother read the fucking lyrics.
Very healthy, great sex advice. Very good.
Great sex advice?
I would give it an A, yes.
Wow.
It's exactly what I always talk about when why younger guys like older women, because older women are adventuresome and have confidence and are willing to go the extra mile and try different things and make sex. That's when sex stays healthy and strong and doesn't get boring. Okay. Now you put that up against this comment that Ben Shapiro says. My only real concern is that the women involved, who apparently require a, quote, bucket and a mop, get the medical care they require. My doctor wife's differential diagnosis is bacterial vaginosis, yeast infection, or trichomonas. I can't even pronounce trichomoniasis. Which, I mean, are you kidding me? He feels that there's a pathological thing going on because someone's getting wet?
No.
How disturbed is he?
No, he's just, what he's saying, first of all, he's just doing this to gain attention.
No, he believes this shit.
And he's basically just saying, if you're getting that wet, there's something wrong with you. And we should not even give any more attention to this on our show because it's dumb as fuck.
Fine, then let's just focus on how great Cardi B is. I say A+, very good for sex education. And that's all I got to say. And don't be embarrassed ever, women. If you're wet, that's a good thing. That means someone's turning you on. I got a feeling Ben Shapiro's wife was not turned on at all by Ben Shapiro. Okay, that's the problem. There's a misfiring in communication there.
All right, listener texts.
Yes,
how about that?
We've gotten quite
you
a few.
Sneaky freaks! Thank you for these wonderful texts.
And how do they text us? Oh, you go to our text line, which is
310-356-3920. I will be messaging you back.
He really does. Sometimes I will. I usually tend to forget to look at it. And then
basically once or twice a week, I will sit down for an hour and just respond to all these texts.
So you will get a text back from one or both of us.
So I wanted to read one. It says, I need advice on how to get my boyfriend in the mood.
Well, there we go.
Every time I try to initiate, he makes an excuse like, I'm really full, I just ate, or I'm kind of tired, or I kind of got a headache. That's mine.
Okay, I can relate to this too.
I constantly have a headache.
Well, the problem is that it is hard when there is a lot of stress in the world to switch gears like that. But
hold on.
Wait, I was just going to say something because I'll forget it. Oh yeah, you want to get him in the mood? Put on the Cardi B. Yeah, said certified freak 7 days a week. Now, you know what you got to do. Give a little back massage.
That is why I wanted to continue on, Mother. She is aware of this idea that we have because you say it all the fucking time. She goes on to say, it sometimes works when I initiate, but if I'm not the one to do it, he won't do it himself. Besides the candle method or massages, which are both yours, is there any other method you guys could think of to get his attention? He used to be more spontaneous sex, but now he hasn't been trying as much since quarantine started. And when we do have sex, it's gotten pretty stale. I need your help with 10 exclamation points. I got some ideas.
Porn?
Yeah.
Watch porn together.
Oh, that's an idea.
That'll go get a little dick from 0 to 10.
See, you can say little dick. You're encouraging this
he could have
bullshit.
He could have a
penis
fucking
shame.
dick the size of a donkey. I'm going to say, get his little weenie going.
All right, just be conscious of the words you're using.
Oh, excuse me.
No, because
when I
next
say
thing you
little,
know,
I don't
these
mean
sneaky
little.
freaks are going to be talking up.
How am I supposed to know what the guy's dick size is?
I take no offense. I get curious.
Yeah, get curious.
I'm getting curious why you want
to. Because you know what the truth is, it doesn't matter if
little dick.
It does. It's not. All I said was like, his like little this or little that, or it's more of like a saying.
Whatever. Moving right along. Here's what I'd recommend.
What?
First of all, start the conversation outside of the bedroom.
Of course.
Meaning, if you are dissatisfied with the ratio of who initiates, that should be discussed. Absolutely, that should be discussed. And come to a conclusion as to what would be the ideal for how much you guys want to have sex with one another.
Hence the candle method.
Okay. The candle method, for those who are just tuning in, Mother, you want to share?
Well, this was something that I came up with your father, my late husband. It turned out he had a much stronger sex drive than I did. Pretty much stronger sex drive than anybody I knew. So what he would basically say is he got tired of always having to initiate, but he still wanted to make sure that we have sex all the time, because if he could let it go, it could be, a week or two before I would want to initiate again. So what we decided is that if someone wanted to have sex, we would light a candle, so you're not directly asking for it. It's kind of like a fun little thing to do. And usually we'd have a minimum of the candle had to be lit every week, once during the week, usually on a Sunday night. That was the candle method.
Did you ever light the candle, or was that always lit for you?
No, I would then start lighting the candle.
All right.
Will you light my candle?
Yeah, look at that. A little rent.
Won't you
can I add one more?
Candle?
One more idea?
What?
Okay. So you're bored with each other, is what it sounds like.
No, you don't. You're not bored. It's just that
It's grown stale.
Human beings seek novelty.
So let me tell you.
Like the bonobos.
Let me tell you how to get that novelty back.
Porn.
Become different people.
Role play.
Role play, baby.
So you're suggesting she opens a door when he walks outside to get the newspaper in a French maid's outfit.
I don't care if you need to dress up like it. I don't care if you want to pretend to be ferrets.
Now,
become different people. Actually use your imagination and become a completely different person. I'm telling you, it will rock your world. You'll feel like you're tripping on some drug.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Has someone ever role played that they were a yoga instructor?
Yes.
Oh.
We've talked about this on the show many times.
Okay.
But it could apply to any sort, especially if there's a power dynamic involved.
Role playing is great because you can go and pretend you're a different person and different imagination. Sometimes I will actually tell my boyfriend, D's, I tell him, are you Dirty D in the porn star theater right now? And luckily, when you're with someone who's ADD, they can get right into any role. They can become anything at any time.
All right. I don't need to visualize this anymore. Moving right along.
The only reason I spoke about this is so people understand that's how you do it. You just come up with some ideas.
I want to, I guess that is a good question.
Yeah.
That is the follow-up question. How do you come up with the actual
You can't be shy.
role play?
You can't be shy about it.
You
just
can't
get
be shy.
So some things you can do, or if you've read erotica and something turns you on and something that you've read, you could say, oh, I think I'm with the Pharaoh with his harem. Did Pharaoh have harem?
So you be reading this alongside your partner?
No, I just pretend that I've just read that passage and then I go and talk about it.
I got an idea.
What?
Dipsystories.com/mom.
Yeah, say it again.
Dipsystories.com/mom. Dipsy is an app with short erotic stories, and they're meant to help encourage you to have sex with yourself or with a partner.
Now, the thing that's great about it is, especially if you're not like me, who's a veteran porn watcher, it's like an intro to porn because it's audio porn.
I don't like when you refer to it as an intro to porn. I watch it. I've been introduced to porn.
Well, all right.
It's way better.
For women, I would say if you've never watched porn before, or men that are just not as into porn as they'd like, then it's like a soft porn.
I fucking love that shit.
They do get kind of dirty in it too, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. And it will give you a lot of different ideas of what to do. So that if you need a little inspiration, you get 30 days for free. Just go to dipsystories.com/mom.
You want to spell that out?
DIPSEA stories.com/mom.
It's free for a month. And they also have this wellness section, which I think is great. It teaches you how to masturbate and pleasure yourself and all that kind of stuff, which is also something that you and your partner can do together.
Totally. All right. By the way, to you sneaky freak, if you hear some sort of like drilling or screwing right now,
it's my upstairs neighbor. He's always
What the fuck is their upstairs
I don't
neighbor
know, but
constantly constructing?
He thought he has already texted me and said, "What are you guys doing in the bedroom?" And I said, "That ain't me. I'm not even home."
It's fucking crazy.
He's always constructing an ark.
Anyway, if you hear Noah and his ark, we apologize. I want to read another question from Brianna Leo, 28.
Now, I love when you guys leave me your zodiac sign. It gives me an instant visualization of what you look like.
Brianna asks, have you discovered or incorporated any things you've learned from guests / the show into your sex lives?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, hell yeah. What have you learned, Mother?
Oh, my God. Everything I just spoke to you about.
Yeah, I think that those...
We just went into it.
I would like to add, my main conclusion is that sex is a mental game. And I think that this show has really helped me see that. And because it's a mental game, there's not really one silver bullet. It kind of completely depends on the relationship you have with the other person.
Yeah, and it could change too. So even though you might have had a relationship before that someone wanted this done to them, the next person may not like that.
Even that same person might change.
Yeah, especially if you're very ADD.
Which is how things get stale. And the one thing that I've learned, the one constant that keeps coming up, the only thing that is permanent is that communication will work.
True.
Communication is the only way to communicate to the other person what you want.
So, to the person who just asked about what we've learned, we have both learned that you've got to be open and speaking about, because back in the day, when I first got married, when I was 23 years old, I was so shy about talking about sex that I wouldn't even talk about masturbation. I would lie that I never masturbated to my own husband.
You know what's amazing is that by doing this show, I now feel comfortable talking about sex with literally anyone.
Anyone, me too.
I could be on a date and I could bring up the fact that I've experienced penis shame.
You could?
Yes, I have.
Maybe not. That's not a good thing to say.
I don't give a flying fuck. Okay. It's a truthful statement.
All right, but not on the first date. You have a little mystery behind there.
All right, second date.
Okay. You might give wrong impressions too. She might all of a sudden.
If she's dating me for my penis size, she should go elsewhere.
No, I'm saying your penis is fine, which we've already decided that anything is fine. But so your penis is fine. Why bring it up as an issue?
It's a truthful statement. If it comes up, it comes up.
It's gonna come up.
Do you know the other thing that I thought was interesting?
Get it?
Yeah, I like that. Great pun. The other thing I wanted to say, maybe that wasn't a pun, it was a double entendre. Anyway,
double entendre.
The other thing I wanted to say is that, I experienced more penis shame. So I love going to Korean spas where I'm with the men.
You've spoken about because you feel like you're liberated. Gigantic over there.
No.
Oh.
It's just a liberating experience to be with other men. It's not a big deal. Your dicks are out.
Yeah.
And it's like you give someone the opportunity to catch you. You're like, it's like a trust fall almost. You take off your pants. You're like, are these people going to laugh at me or shame me? And then no, they don't. The
other thing is that there are growers and showers.
So that's the thing. So I realized after having a skinny dipping experience a while ago, I was very nervous. I was 2 couples skinny dipping. I was very nervous for the other couple, specifically my friend in the other couple, the other male friend in the other couple, to see my erect penis. Because it's very rare that another man will see my erect penis.
So you were erect when you were skinny dipping?
Oh, yeah. I'm erect all the time. If I'm with someone that I'm into, I will be erect the whole time.
Oh, so the other guy was not erect?
I don't think so. But I was very self-conscious about this. And it wasn't even about, I don't think, the penis size.
No, you were just conscious about having an erection.
I was self-conscious about showing that I had a virility and a desire in front of another person. Maybe even another girl.
Having a chubby.
Great. Having a chubby is very scary.
I never thought about that.
Scary? For little kids, they get chubbies all the time. It's not scary for them. Why suddenly is it scary for me to have chubbies? What? You shame your dog if the dog is not.
The dog he has a chubby. You're like, put that thing back in.
Yeah. Why are we scared of that?
I don't know.
It's something to get curious about.
Let's get curious.
All right, that was another little.
All right.
There's a lot of themes going on.
We got skinny dipping going on.
It's a thematic episode over here.
Penis shaming. You know what I get in terms of penis? A lot of guys send me their pictures, not to I really don't think they're doing it to upset me. They're doing it because they want me, and I've got this verified from my friend Nina as well. They want me to say that they have a desirable penis.
Yes, exactly. That's 100% right.
Right, and it's what they end up getting from me is, you're blocked.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see that right now. I didn't ask for that first thing in the morning when I haven't even brushed my teeth.
That's exactly right. It's also, what's interesting about the penis is the only part of the body you can't really change yourself. The rest of the body, you can change the muscle tone. Even the jaw, you can make more,
Stronger.
chiseled and stronger. The dick, you can't do shit to.
That's not true.
No,
My cousin.
No, your cousin should.
All right, never mind. But you're right. You're stuck. You're basically stuck with it. But you can do stuff with your vagina, by the way.
Yeah, you can get plastic surgery.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
even
you're
talking
right.
About, yep. I just wanted to bring up the intensity.
Yeah.
Is it called intensity?
It is called intensity. This is,
I'm
by the way.
I'm beginning to love it.
Really?
Yes. I think what it does is because, inside the vagina are nerve endings to your clit. There's still part of your clit goes mostly inside, not outside. Not to say that you don't want both, but I'm saying the one that's inside ends up getting activated when you put the intensity in there, because it's like you pump up this pump, and then what it does is it looks like a regular vibrator, but it actually acts like a what do they call it when the muscle
electrostimulator,
like a little stimulator. Yeah, it stimulates the whole area, so that it causes, the effect is that you're going to get a stronger pelvic floor, and
so it makes you do Kegels automatically.
It makes you do Kegels automatically, and it also like invigorates the whole vaginal area.
What does it mean, invigorate?
It makes it like, wake up.
Wake up!
It's a wake up call to your pussy.
It's supposed to make your orgasm stronger because
I
of pelvic
think it
floor.
did. That's what I'm saying.
You're telling me you think it does?
And I've only done 2 times.
No way.
Yeah.
You think it honestly made it already has?
It was either that or the weed. I'm not sure.
Well, here's what I actually think that might happen is that most people don't know where their Kegels are.
I know where my Kegel is.
It's hard to know, especially.
I know that, but this
to know how
actually,
to clench it and train it.
So this actually does it kind of for you in the sense.
So it will definitely at the least train you to know what it feels like to build up that muscle.
It's like, oh, here it is.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah, so if they want to get one of these.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah, you go to Pour Moi.
Now, pour is French for four, P-O-U-R, or, you can think of it as pouring water in a glass. Moi, M-O-I, which is me. So for me,
.com.
pourmoi.com. Pourmoi.com.
And use our promo code, which is MOM.
MOM.
You get $25 off on top of any promotion going on their website. So if there's a $40 off on their website, which I think the last time I checked there was, you get an additional $25 off of the intensity.
Yeah, it may make you hornier, people. Just saying, if you don't want to get hornier, this is not the product for you. It may actually make you hornier.
It's definitely gonna, because it will vibrate and please you at the same time as exercising these Kegel muscles.
So it's a combo.
Anyway, pourmoi.com. Use promo code MOM. My mother approves.
Kid tested? No, kid didn't test. But
kid did not test.
Mother tested. Mother approved.
Okay, should we get to another listener question over here, Mother?
Yes.
Megan says, my BF and I have been talking for 2.5 years and overall have a great, healthy relationship. We've been talking openly about trying a threesome. He is open to both male and female. I am interested in exploring my sexuality with a woman, as I've never been with a woman. We've discussed our boundaries and both feel pretty good about trying. Some nerves still. How do we find someone in the time of COVID? We live in a smaller town and are also nervous about trying to find someone in our own area. Any other threesome tips?
Yes.
Okay, so first, can we address the first question, which how do you find someone to get into a threesome
That's what I'm saying. There's all kinds of sites online that they can go to.
Okay, so the two that I've heard the most about are #open.com and field.co, FEELD.co. We're not sponsored by them, but those seem to be sites meant for this type of non-monogamy.
Yeah.
Or these types of little rendezvous, if you will.
Okay.
Where you bring in a third party.
So you just got to find the right sites.
Here's what I will say, though. Because it is COVID.
Be careful.
You got to take some precautions.
Yeah.
You want to know the precautions I'd take?
You cover your dick with 6 condoms? What?
I cover my mouth with 6 condoms. No, I would recommend making sure you have a conversation up front with the person about their pod right now,
Right.
their circuit. Is it a closed circuit? Are they seeing a bunch of people? How often do they wear masks? These are all questions I'd ask. And once you feel comfortable with that, then I would ask them to get a COVID test as close to the date of hooking up as possible. So if you got a rendezvous scheduled for Saturday night, you get them fucking tested on that Thursday or Friday. So they got the results saying negative.
But as you pointed out, it's still no guarantee because you could have had exposure on a Thursday and it didn't hook in.
But if they're still only hanging out with the people in their pod, it should be safe.
I don't know.
I mean, there's always a risk, but that's how you reduce the risk as much as possible.
Yeah, it's terrifying. But if it's really important, then do what you got to do.
What about threesome tips in general?
The most important thing is communication again.
It sounds like they're on the same page.
No, you got to communicate with whoever you get the threesome with.
That is very true.
I remember hearing a podcast episode where after they were done, the girl just wanted the girl of the couple. The
unicorn?
Wanted the unicorn out.
No, the unicorn is the person. The unicorn that was hanging out.
Yeah, they wanted her out of their life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So even having that discussion, like how much longer?
How long is this going to be?
Are you going to be hanging out
and
after
then you have
we
to
all have a
decide
good time?
The rules are is penetration okay? Is it oral sex is okay? Is it just kissing is okay? Is just watching okay? Is it anal is okay? All these things have to be discussed ahead of time.
That's exactly right.
Like it's like a rule book.
What rules are we playing with? I love it.
And if you don't go in there with rules, then you're going to be in for a big surprise.
All right. How about one more question?
Okay.
This one says, I just found out my boyfriend of 6 years has been cheating on me for over a year. Oh, God. I'm sorry to hear this.
Me too.
He travels a lot for work, and I've always had a feeling something was going on, intuition, if you will. And I found out, got a hold of the woman who willingly called me when I gave her my number and asked her if she loved him. Turns out she's got very deep feelings for him. Sad day for me. Still have yet to talk to him about this. Tonight I will, but I'm very curious if you guys have any insight as to why people cheat. I am a very sexual person. I'm not too bad to look at. He is not a sexual person. Either that or I just didn't do it for him. So why cheat? And why not just leave me first? Added note here, every single person I've said I love you to has cheated on me. Starting to wonder what's wrong.
Whoa.
I am very sorry to hear this. And this has got to be a horrible time for all involved, and my thoughts are with you.
Me too, because there's so many things that she feels betrayed at.
Right. So to answer your questions,
let's start with one by one.
So why cheat? Now, from what I've gathered, I've never cheated, and luckily I've never been cheated on. But from what I've gathered, cheating rarely, I think, has to do with
sexual
sex.
desire. Yeah,
it has to do with intimacy, and it's hard to tell exactly what it is about your relationship that led to your partner wanting a change in this intimacy.
Yeah,
without further details, because on the one hand, you could want what the partner could have felt like, too intimate with you and wanted that freaked him out, and he wanted an escape, and so he went elsewhere to create a distance by doing something wrong. That is possible.
Okay, but that's also just very specific.
On the other hand, it could be the complete opposite.
Right.
Where the partner felt like he could not access his sexual side, or he did not feel intimately cared for in the relationship, and wanted to get that outside of the relationship.
Right. So I'd like to just tell this person that, first of all, it probably doesn't have to do with your looks at all. Let's just get that off the table, okay? And it probably doesn't have to do with your desires for sex, because he's only coming from his standpoint, unless does it say if it's a guy or a girl? I don't even know.
Yeah, boyfriend.
Oh, boyfriend. Okay. Anyway, the main thing is that there's two sides to every story, and I feel bad, but I thought it was really sad that he got another woman involved, and I just think that unfortunately cheating it shakes up your whole world.
Yeah, it's a betrayal. That it fucking blows.
And if you're going to cheat, if you're going to have sex with someone else, just talk about it. Like you said, why didn't he talk about it first with her before he went ahead and did that?
Right.
Now there's a third person involved, and she's catching feelings too. It's a tough one.
Unfortunately, this is a situation where getting curious will actually help you a lot, even though it might be extremely hard to do
And
that.
painful, yeah.
Especially right now. It might take a year, it might take however many years before you're able to look past the betrayal and the pain that this caused you, and to try to figure out what led to this. Why did this person do this?
The ending line was very telling.
Hmm?
Every single person I've said I love you to has cheated on me, starting to wonder what's wrong with me.
She's feeling like she's responsible for this shit.
It's nothing is wrong with you. What the problem is that you're picking the wrong people.
You think so?
Yes, if every single person she said I love you to has cheated on her,
I think this is.
I'm just saying it's not something necessarily that she is doing wrong. She just may not be picking people that are open to that kind of intimacy she wants.
That might be true.
Open to being loved, even.
I don't know. This could again be for so many reasons, So
this is what I would recommend to Sage. Go to a therapist.
Yes, we are not therapists.
By yourself. Go by yourself. Talk to the therapist. See about that last line about why every single person that have said I love you to has cheated on you. And then once you can feel healed somewhat or confident in yourself, then if you still wanted to be with your husband or boyfriend and he's willing to come into therapy with you, that's great. Or then maybe look at the people that you're attracted to and try to find someone who is very different than the ones that you've been with in the past.
And know that we are here for you, and we're thinking of you and sending you love.
And I hope that you can let us know what happens. But I think that right now, especially with Zoom being so easy to access for therapists, take a couple sessions with a therapist, a qualified therapist that can really help you dive deep into. Maybe this started back in the days of when you were growing up, when you were a child, and your parents, I don't know. There might something to do with the way you were raised, something with your role models. Look into, your upbringing.
Yeah. Sorry again. I want to close out the show by thanking all of our patrons for making this possible. What is
this, Ray? Who was that?
We got a bunch more questions, but we don't have time, unfortunately. We're going to have to get to it next time.
Oh, well, we can do.
What?
Save it for our patrons.
By the way, we do have one last question related to this, so I'm just going to share real quickly. Maria asks, I would love to if you have any resources or experts to help to heal with infidelity.
Esther Perel.
Esther Perel is my go-to. I'd say her book, The State of Affairs, is excellent. And
and I liked Mating in Captivity.
It explores affairs in infidelity in general. Okay. So, Mother, I would like to say we're going to have a fucking patron party for our sneaky freaks who have joined us on Patreon.
Oh, right. So back to what I was saying. Patreon, patreon.com/sex talk with my mom is where our true sneaky freaks hang out. And what I mean by hang out, I mean you go onto the Patreon page and you have access to a lot of the content that is not anywhere else on the internet. It's stuff that we either put out on video or extra podcasts with comedians and sexologists and all our favorite guests. And I think you'd really love to be a patron and be able to support what we're doing here because we, as you know, are putting out the show for free.
Yeah, if you enjoy the show, please join us on Patreon. Throw a few bucks our way. And best of all, we host a Zoom party every month where we all get to hang out, sneaky freaks and everybody. We talk about our lives, what's going on. It's a fucking wild time, and you get to know the other people that listen to this podcast, and it's a beautiful family. I love you, sneaky freaks.
We play games.
It's a blast. And our next one is coming up next Wednesday, October 14th, 2020 at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
It's a week from Wednesday.
Join us on Patreon before then, and we will send you that Zoom link.
Yes.
I also want to thank everyone who has left us reviews on the iTunes store or wherever you're listening to this podcast.
Do you know why reviews are so important?
Yes, I do. It's because it helps with our search engine optimization.
Yes. It also helps when other potential guests take a look and see the numbers that we have. They're like, oh, we're going to be on this cool show.
And it also helps make us feel like you enjoy this content. It's a little thing that you can do for free to encourage us to keep making this. And it means the world to us.
It does. When we wake up and read a review, we're like, ooh, it warms the cockles of my heart.
Okay, so here's one that I
Well, you didn't
love.
tell them how to do it. You got to go to ratethispodcast.com/mom. ratethispodcast.com/mom and write a little review.
It'll tell you exactly where and how to write it. So I wanted to read one. This one says, twinning. I love this podcast. I live far from my family, and when I hear the laughter between you two, it brings me back to my own life. My mother and I talk about sex just like you guys do. I'm the only sibling who talks with her like that. It's a special comfort, I guess. You guys have taught me some things, and I'm eager to become a longtime listener. 5 stars by Hemorrhoid.
That's hilarious. Thank you, Hemorrhoid. That also warmed the cockles of my heart.
That is such a sweet review, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have a relationship where you can laugh with your mom about this.
It's very rare, and I'm very happy for you.
I hope more people start opening these conversations with their loved ones because it is very freeing. Truly. We're all sexual people.
Yeah, nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed of. So your mom has sex. Big deal. So your dad has sex. Even better.
Thank you guys for listening. We love you.
Oh, no. Here we go. And let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and having...
It doesn't need to be having always.
All right. And...
Masculinity.
No, I don't want that one. I knew that you were going to do that one.
Well,
No.
it was better than nothing.
All right, let's start this. I got to do it. I have to think before I can do this.
All right.
All
We're
right.
waiting.
Well, the pressure's on right
The
now.
pressure's on. I see you
Okay.
scrolling through
I'm
your
scrolling.
document right now.
I'm scrolling.
You're
And let me tell you about the
scrounging.
birds and the bees and the flowers and the tree and having your own little wet pussy. See? Little.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.